Hey, so welcome everyone, and thank you so much for being here. My name is Stephanie Den Hollander, and I am the program coordinator with our Entrepreneurs with Disabilities program here in Manitoba and Saskatchewan. Just before we get started today, I will acknowledge that I am joining you from Manitoba and want to acknowledge that I'm on the ancestral lands Treaty 1 territory, traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the national homeland of the Red River Métis. I want to acknowledge for everyone joining us in Saskatchewan or wherever you might be joining us from today. You've joined us on your treaty territory, and we acknowledge the traditional homeland of the Métis and honor the contributions of all people. So I would just love to, as we're getting started here, I've got about a 30-minute presentation, just providing you with some information and resources about our services and some next steps. And then I'll open it up for questions, discussions. So as we're going through, because as I continue in the presentation, you might also get the answers to some of the questions you might have. Just jot some things down or type them in the chat. And when I'm done with the initial presentation, then we'll kind of go through the chat and I'll open it up for anyone that wants to have some discussion. And at that time, I'll turn off the recording just so that if there's anything related to your personal or business circumstance that you want to discuss or ask questions about, then that won't be a part of the recording that goes out and is posted on our YouTube page. Okay, so I'd love to, as I'm getting started, if anyone wants to just post in the chat where you're joining us from today, what's your community, what area you live in and province, and maybe a little bit about what you're hoping to learn from today and why you joined us. So everyone can see where you're all joining us from. Okay, so as we're getting started, we love to showcase just a few of the entrepreneurs that we have worked with across Manitoba and Saskatchewan. That is the absolute favorite part of my job is working alongside so many incredible entrepreneurs with big vision, big dreams, and so many skills and passions to bring their business to life. So here we have Debbie, and she owns Talking Body Laser Aesthetics in Stonewall, Manitoba. And we have Les, who owns Norman Risk Consulting up in Flin Flon, and Esther, owner of Middle Earthian Crochet out of Brandon, Manitoba. And a few entrepreneurs in Saskatchewan. We have Maddie. She owns Good as New Detailing Services out of Yorkton, Saskatchewan. Mandy, owner of Moon Rose Holistics and Beauty in Lake Lenoir. And Michael Siever, owner of Elite Auto Repair in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. So actually all 6 of these entrepreneurs were graduates of our Business Builder program, which I'm going to tell you a little bit about today, as well as our other services. So I like to start with this quote. Don't let your health concerns get in the way of fulfilling your dreams. And Rachel shared that just as part of her experience, in starting up her business and receiving support and working with us to open her business. And why I love this quote, because it just captures so much of what we want people to understand and know. For those of you, if you're here today and you're managing a health condition or a disability and you're just feeling like you're needing a new career, you've got a self-employment plan, working the standard, 1 to 5 for a company or an organization at 9 to 5, sorry, doesn't work well for you and give you the opportunity to do what you love and what you're really good at, but also the time and the flexibility to manage your health condition. And that's why self-employment is such a great option, because you can work the hours that work well for you and you're capable of. You have time and flexibility to manage your health needs and your wellness for appointments and just things that you need to do in your day-to-day routine. And then also being able to, also maximize the opportunities for your income and what you're doing and the impact of the work that you do. So whether you're here as a service provider today and you support people who are starting a new business or exploring self-employment, or you're here as someone who either has a business or you've got a business idea and you're just kind of pulling together your vision to see how it can all happen, I want you to just take a moment to imagine your business 5 to 10 years from now. Or if you're a service provider, imagine helping someone to start their own business and what that would look like for them 5 to 10 years from now. Think about the positive impact on your customers, your community. What is the legacy that you want it to leave behind? I know that's a powerful question so early in the morning for some of us, but just really think about that. And that legacy, that word is really at the core of why you're doing what you're doing and what you want to embark on. And so, and if you're comfortable sharing in the chat, type it in the chat. What's the legacy that you want your business and your dream to leave behind? What path do you want to carve for yourself and for others? And why this is important, and I wanted you to reflect on this before we jump into all of the services and the programs that we offer here at Community Futures EDP, because when your why gets stronger, the how gets easier, right? So the how are those are kind of all the have tos. Those are the have to do things that maybe we don't always love when we think about starting a business and our self-employment journey. You know, we've got to register our business. We've got to learn bookkeeping skills and then maintain our business books. We've got to know how to manage filing taxes and other fees and insurance and all the things that go along with you being able to share your passion and your abilities with the world while earning money. And so, yeah, those are the have tos. Those are some of the hows that maybe can feel hard sometimes. But we've got support and resources for you. So we're a part of the how because you're not meant to walk that journey alone. But I want you to think about that legacy and that impact and that passion first because that's your why. So when the why gets stronger and you're really clear on your why, and you keep that at the forefront, motivating you to keep pushing forward through those moments of hard, which are going to be inevitable because that's life, right? When the why gets stronger, some of that how can get easier. And so I want you to just kind of be set up to think about that and be inspired. And then we're going to talk about some of the how and the ways that we can show up alongside you to help bring your dreams to life and beyond, because it doesn't end there. So, a little bit about Community Futures. So, if you haven't heard of Community Futures, we are a national organization. So, there are 267 offices across rural Canada, and we are nonprofit organizations. And in Manitoba, there are 16 offices, and kind of just shown by the map here, which areas each office covers across the province. And in Saskatchewan, there are 13 Community Futures offices. And our EDP program runs in 90 offices in rural across Canada and in 6 urban offices. So I'm responsible working alongside our manager, Susan, for Manitoba and Saskatchewan. So we work with 29 different Community Futures offices. And they essentially, at each office, there's a business analyst, a manager. Some of the offices have community development, coordinators. And so we work alongside them. They're the business experts. They're going to be helping you, understand your industry, the demographics of your region, pulling together your business plan, helping you do some of that market research. And our role in our EDP program is providing support and information and resources to accommodate what your health needs are or any disability related needs. So just being able to show up in the way that works best for you at the pace and in the style that you learn and what's most helpful for you. So just really working together as a team, and you as the entrepreneur or the entrepreneur is the leader of what that journey looks like. So everyone's journey working with us and experience will be a little bit different because, in my role, I'm striving to make that fit for you and who you are as a person and what your vision is for your business and what that will look like. So you're kind of guiding the process along the way, and we're here showing up alongside you. So our services, we offer one-to-one business consultation. So whether you got maybe 5 business ideas and you're not really sure which one might be most profitable, where to start, and you're at the early idea stage, we can help you work through that and gather some information and help you make some informed decisions about what could be a great way to start your business and what you want to focus on. Or you're coming with a solid business plan, you've done a lot of market research and you're ready to go, and you're just looking for support to develop that business plan and some training. Or maybe you've got an existing business, or you're a seasoned entrepreneur and you've had lots of different businesses through your life, and you're either looking to grow and expand at your existing business and want some support with that, or you're looking to start a new and different business and you just want some updated resources and information. We also offer business plan development. We've got some great tools and templates because the business plan is often one of the most overwhelming things for new business owners and entrepreneurs. So thinking about, and if you are applying for a loan, either through a financial institution or through our Community Futures office to start your business, you will need a business plan and some cash flow projections. And so that's where a lot of people can feel stuck because it's so much information. That's a lot of work. I don't know where to start, but you're not meant to do that alone. We've also developed some great templates that help break it down into smaller, manageable pieces of information kind of by topic heading so that it doesn't feel as overwhelming. And anything that you're not sure of, you could leave blank and then consult with the staff at your local regional office to get some insight and information and help to pull that all together. We've got lots of business resources and training, most of which are free or very low cost. So that's a service that we provide. I'll tell you more about some of those opportunities as we move further into the presentation. And then, of course, I did briefly mention we have access to repayable loans for viable businesses. So that is all run through your local Community Futures office, whether you're looking for what we call a micro loan, which might be $500, $1,000, $5,000, all the way up to $150,000 and more, because we also do some partnerships and have opportunities to lend a higher amount than that. But that's all managed through your local office. So if you have questions about that specifically, following the session, I can make that warm introduction and connect you with someone at your local office so that they can answer those questions because the applications go through there. Okay. So in those available resources that I mentioned, the business supports. So that's working with our Community Futures staff to plan and launch your business and receive ongoing business aftercare. And so that's just like, we're not just here for you when you start your business. You might start your business and things that you had planned, maybe you need to pivot, evolve, change, or things change in your market or industry and you need some support, then we help you with that. So we're here for the life of your business and beyond. Business plan development. So we have those workbooks, the templates that I mentioned, just to help you organize your ideas. You've got all these big dreams and vision. We just want to be able to funnel it down. And that process will really help you to get that into, a living document that's going to help guide you along the way. There's also sometimes a misconception that people think you only need a business plan if you're applying for a business loan or a line of credit. And so yes, that is true that you do require that, but we always encourage everyone to have some type of a business plan in place and some cash flow projections because it's in your best interest. You want to do the research, you want to have all the information there because it's kind of the guiding light for you and your business so that you can stay on target, that you know what you're working towards. You've got all of those things kind of set in place. And so if you're planning a small side hustle hobby business, your business plan might be fairly short and straightforward and pretty clear and not be complicated, but it's still going to really help you. You also want to make sure that you're putting the information in to know what your cash flow projections are going to look like and understanding what your numbers in terms of the cost to if you're offering a service or if you're creating a product, how to calculate all of those things and then what that looks like so that you can make sure what you're offering and your prices are in line with what other competitors are offering, but also to make sure that you're earning enough money, right, to have a viable business that can keep being successful and grow going forward and bring you the financial freedom that you're looking for. And everyone's goals on that will be different. So we can help you with that. And so that's why it is important, right? So it's helping you make good decisions in your business and to be successful. We also have a great startup checklist that's kind of a 10-step guide for people starting a new business with all of those, some of those have tos that we have to register. How do you reserve your name? All of those things in your province to just help you so that you're not, going down a rabbit hole and doing a Google search and taking 45 minutes to figure out, well, how do I do all this stuff? And sometimes it's hard to understand, or there's different information that can feel tough to follow. So we have that great step-by-step guide. And then, of course, if you have any questions along the way, we can help you with that. So for business training, I'll show you our training events calendar on our websites because there's lots of free, every different office, as I mentioned, there's 13 offices in Saskatchewan, 16 in Manitoba. Every office offers different training opportunities, maybe webinars or in-person events, things that you can register for, even if it's outside of the region that you live in. Oftentimes they're open to anyone. So I want you to check that out because there might be some things that you're interested in. But also, we have our Build a Better Business program, and that's a 10 module self directed online business training program. So you log in, create an account, and you have access to all of these modules. And it's kind of like Business 101 is what we call it, because it gives you a solid foundation of a across the board general information about how to start a business, developing your business plan, cash flow, pricing, insurance, things like that, human resources if you're going to hire employees, taxes, bookkeeping skills. So it gives you a lot of basic information, a good place to start. There's a video to watch with each module, plus a workbook and a manual to go along with it. And then you can go through those things, make some notes for yourself if you have questions and want to, because it's presented in a general way, which is helpful. But sometimes it's nice to then take what you've learned in those modules and then have a conversation about it with one of our staff so that you can, get validation on what you learned, but also make it make sense for you and your business, right? So that you could say, well, I learned this, but what would that look like for me? And so we can help talk you through what that would look like so that it makes sense for you and your business. And then we also have those great training opportunities through our offices. So, and just sometimes conference events and things that we would keep you in the loop about. So you can kind of pick and choose what's most helpful for you in your business because there's lots of opportunities, but you've got to start somewhere, right? And we don't want to overwhelm you with too much information. And then in our EDP program, we've got individualized support for entrepreneurs living with a disability or a health condition. So Community Futures works with all rural entrepreneurs. So people can just reach out to our local offices for support and resources. If someone self-identifies or self-declares as a person living with a disability or a health condition, then we have support available and sometimes some special individualized programs where we've got some enhanced supports and funding. And we also have grants for $750 for either digital marketing or business mentorship. And those grants come out once a year, every April. And there's an online application and we accept applications and support people with those grants until the money runs out. And then we wait till next year, we run our wait list. So we often get the question, well, what do I have to do? Like, how do you self-declare as a person with a disability or a health condition? So what I really like about our program, and I've worked, well, like 25 years as a counselor, as a life coach, a disability accommodation specialist, and working for so many different organizations throughout my career, it's often a barrier, or it can feel like a barrier to get access to programs and services. There's all of these forms you have to fill out. There's like you need a 7-page medical documentation or a medical panel to, confirm your eligibility. Well, we don't require that. Self-declaration is literally, yes, I'm a rural entrepreneur living with a disability or a health condition. And it's up to you what you feel comfortable sharing with us. And really, that's all it is that the more that you share, the maybe better able I would be to work alongside you, offering support and accommodations and resources to better suit your needs. But you're not required to tell us, your personal health information. It would just be to benefit you and the services that we can offer. So that would be anything from someone who's living with asthma, a cancer survivor, experiencing managing anxiety, depression, having a mobility need, living with hearing loss or vision loss, anything in between. Basically, whatever you feel you need to do for yourself to manage your health and your well-being as part of your day-to-day routines would classify as, being able to self-declare. So there's not a lot of restriction on that. It's kind of how you define that for yourself and what we can help you with. So I'll tell you a little bit more about our Business Builder program. So that is a program that we have applied for special project funding through our federal government, through the Opportunities Fund for People with Disabilities. We started the project in 2023. We have supported 75 entrepreneurs through a structured 6-month program to help them start or grow their business. So the criteria are a little bit different for this program than our regular EDP services in that there are kind of some things that make it a good fit for you and your vision for how you're going to start or grow your business. So because it's a 6-month kind of training and support program, entrepreneurs will be ready to launch their business within 6 months. And it's for anyone looking for support to become self-employed. So that would be if you're needing some training, you need to learn more about managing, your books and some of those cash flow areas, or you need help with marketing strategy. How do you get your product to market? Whatever that looks like for you to be able to become self-employed and have your own business. And there's no requirement of it needing to be a full-time business or part-time. It can be a side hustle, hobby business. Maybe you're creating a product that you're selling a few times a year at a market, or maybe you're opening a full-time cafe or bookstore or whatever that might look like. So there's no criteria on the type of business or the number of hours that you would be operating your business. And it's also open for people who are at the idea stage. And if it's a viable business idea, that you would be ready to launch within 6 months as you go through the program, or that you've got an existing business that maybe you started driven by that passion, but now that you're operational, you're realizing, maybe there are some things I wasn't aware of or that I didn't plan for, and I want to kind of back it up a bit so that I can learn more and get some training and support and kind of set myself up for success long term. Or you've got a business that's been a side hustle and it's going great and you're ready to kind of take it to the next level, but you want some support to plan for that. So those are kind of 3 different scenarios of what that would look like. But of course, anybody that applies for the program, we would then connect with you to talk more about this, to see, learn more about you and your business idea and see if this is a good fit and explain what this journey would look like for you in the Business Builder program, because it would be a little bit different for everyone. And then always that requirement, that self-declaration as a person with a health condition or a disability. And everybody that goes through the program, we start you with a vocational assessment so that we can learn about what your disability or health related accommodations are as you're going through the program, completing your training, getting support with your business plan, so that we can provide funding and support through this project specifically. So that's why we're able to offer some of those enhanced services. So we've got funding for mental health counseling, for people to work with a private therapist while they're in the program, no long wait lists, plus you get to find the person that you want to work with, which you don't get through the public health system. So that, you've got that support as you're going through the program. It can feel, stressful and overwhelming to start a new business and do all of these things. Really exciting, but you want to make sure that you're managing your well-being. The other thing is that we've got support for disability and health related equipment, assistive technology, and additional supports. And all of that information would come from that vocational assessment. So I don't need to tell you too much about it in this session. If you're interested in the program and you apply, we would talk more about what that would look like. But that could be things like we've supported an entrepreneur living with a spinal condition. They need to change position frequently, so they can't sit, in training sessions for a long period of time. They need to be able to stand up. So we were able to fund and purchase for them a sit to stand desk and an ergonomic office chair so that they have comfortable access to the training and the supports that we provide in the program. And then you also get to keep the equipment once you finish the program. You don't have to return it once you've completed the 6 months of the program. So it is really amazing. For those living with ADHD, we've got a lot of entrepreneurs, right? It's almost part of the draw to entrepreneurship is the differences and the excitement of neurodiverse individuals being able to share their gifts with the world. So sometimes completing the training and the business plan it's hard to pull all of that information together while managing other things in your life and work and family. So we've got ADHD coaches that have supported people with their training just to help keep things organized, help them to, really learn the information as it's presented. Someone living with a learning disability or a need, dyslexia, to have a coach working with you in the training so that you are, getting everything you can out of the information to support you in your business. So that's why I said it's going to be really individual based on your needs and what your goals are and how we can show up and support you. So in that program, entrepreneurs are learning new business skills or just validating and reaffirming the skills that they do have, and also accessing support services and equipment, bringing new businesses to the community, which is more important than ever, I would say, in our economy and things that are happening in the world. We want more local businesses and contributing to the local economy. So I will have everyone watch for whether you're a service provider gathering information for clients that you're working with today with the self-employment goal, or you are a person who's looking to start self-employment, or you already have and you're looking for support and services to grow that business. I will send there's going to be a follow-up email after our session with all of this information and links. I know it will be overwhelming, so I'll apologize in advance. It'll be a long email, but there's lots of stuff for you in there to check out, getting a training account on our website, our calendars, the link to the application to our business builder program. And then also if you're looking for support and services in, a rural area, an urban area. So in Manitoba, that would be anyone living in Winnipeg. We could give you the information to connect with EDP services in Winnipeg. And in Saskatchewan, that would be anyone living in Regina and Saskatoon. So don't worry about needing to write down all of the links and things I'm talking about, because I'll send you that follow-up email. And then also you can connect with me and we can set up a one-on-one time to chat via phone or Zoom or have some emails back and forth, just so I can support you with your next steps individually. So here's just a quick look at the startup checklist that I mentioned that has kind of that 10-step guide to starting a new business. And then we've got that business plan workbook that I mentioned that breaks down the sections of the business plan into more manageable pieces, sections. And those are available. A lot of our offices have printed copies of these, as well as we have downloadable PDFs on our website. So you'll have the link to our website, whether you're in Manitoba or Saskatchewan, because they are different, right? Because some of the steps for startup in Saskatchewan and Manitoba are a bit different. So you'll want to make sure that you're getting the resource that is based on where you live and where you'll be operating your business. So this is that Build a Better Business program, the 10 learning modules that's self-directed. It's free. So here are just the topics. We've got those 10 modules giving you that good foundation, kind of business 101 to get you started and on your way. It's also great because once you create your account on the training site, if you go through modules, you can pick and choose the ones that you want to do or do all of them. But you can also log back in. If, 4 months down the road, you're thinking, hey, I remember something about in my pricing that I need to consider this and this, but I can't remember exactly what it is. You can log in and go to that module and just go through that module again or read through the manual and then just, okay, yeah, that's what I want to do. Because sometimes you can gather a lot of information, but it doesn't really make sense until you're actually doing the thing in your business when you're operational. So you can always refer back and have access to this whenever you need. Just a few upcoming free CRA webinars. I'll have the links to these in our follow-up email, but we do offer free sessions always in the fall and then again in the new year with we have a partnership with this liaison officer service through Canada Revenue Agency. So they offer these great info sessions about different tax information for your small business, understanding GST, just some record keeping tips. And then coming up next week is the information session on the disability tax credit and registered disability savings plans and some other benefits. So that is a really valuable session for anyone who is either looking to apply and see if they're eligible for the disability tax credit or want some information on the RDSP. So you can register for those sessions. So we've got one per month coming up for the next 4 months until the end of April. Those are all on our Eventbrite page as well to register, but you'll have the links. And here's where I mentioned our training and events calendar. So on both provincial websites, so cfmanitoba.ca and cfsask.ca, you'll see you can log in and check what's coming up. Here we are today, our EDP program info session. So there's lots of marketing, webinars, different HR, some social media stuff, how to create reels for social media, branding, lots of different topics that you can check out and then register for anything that is of interest to you. It's also a great place to meet and connect other entrepreneurs. And if you are on Facebook and Instagram, you can find us. We have our EDP page there. We also showcase and feature some of our Business Builder Program graduates and other EDP businesses. We did a holiday feature where we showcase. So we try to be really innovative and creative in any way that we can keep showing up to support our entrepreneurs and help, build awareness of them and their business, to help increase sales and broaden their reach. So we're always happy to share and showcase local businesses across both provinces. So you can follow us there and check us out. We'll also post different opportunities and things like that you might be interested in. So just before we wrap up and kind of have our question and discussion time, I just wanted to kind of share maybe a few examples of what the opportunity could look like for an entrepreneur working alongside us in our EDP program. So this is Cassie. Cassie is a creative person. She's got a flair for making TikTok reels and social media posts. She's had some work experiences when she was in school, but she hasn't held a job yet. She's helped a few friends and family members with their business pages and is excited to try to develop this into her own home-based business and is looking to apply for a loan to purchase some equipment and software programs for her startup. She's ready to develop her formal business plan and launch her business by spring of 2026. So we're really checking the box. We're going to support Cassie to, bring her self-employment vision to life in a way that works well for her. We're having a great impact on the community, other businesses who are going to benefit from her digital marketing services, and then a great impact on the economy. Here we have Clint. Clint has a passion for health. He's completed training to become certified as a yoga teacher. He's casually started teaching some yoga classes for seniors at his local community center and loves it. He's ready to formalize his yoga teaching practice and develop his business plan to provide restorative yoga for seniors and officially launch his business by early 2026. So isn't that amazing? Clint can bring his dream to life for self-employment, realizing something that he's passionate about and good at and supports his health and well-being. He can actually earn an income while also helping other people. Great impact on the community, a much needed service for so many people, and then positive economic impact as well. And lastly, we have Tyson. He's a carpenter with 10 years experience. He's been running his own business. That gives him better control of his working hours so he can manage his health condition. He's ready to expand his business and plans to build a bigger shop with more storage. Community Futures can help review his financials, assist with updating his business plan to seek financing, and may provide assistance on referrals for some disability and health-related organizations that can help him. Self-employment, Tyson's growing his business and great impact on the community, offering the services that he does, and that positive economic impact. So what's next? As I mentioned, if you happen to live or work in an urban area, so people living in Winnipeg, Regina, or Saskatoon, we'll offer the connection to the services, EDP services in those urban settings. But anybody living outside of Winnipeg, Regina, and Saskatoon is eligible for our services through our program. So again, my name is Stephanie Den Hollander and I'm the program coordinator. So my email address is here. You also had it in the direct link that I sent out this morning and you'll have it in the follow-up email. So feel free to reach out to me anytime, email, text, call, so we can chat about your individual circumstance and I can help you make some of those connections and plan your next steps. And then Susan Bader is our program manager, and that's her email there too. So sometimes you might see that I'm connecting with her or CCing her on an email just to keep her in the loop and she could offer her support and expertise as well. We work very closely together. So here are our provincial websites and our edpbusiness.ca. That's where that business builder application will be found as well. So I'm just going to now stop this presentation and the recording, and then I'll open it up and check the chat.